So if you're interested in a point of view on who we are as South Africans and how we got there, arguably the freshest, maybe toughest, the most thought-provoking is in the new film Moffie, one of the few movies that are out on circuit at the moment in tough times, based on an autobiographical novel by Andre Carl van der Merwe. It's an excellently observed point of view and containing a compelling story as well. Let's find out a little bit more.
Having already debuted at various international film festivals around the world, acclaimed director Oliver Hermanus' brand new film offering titled Moffie follows the story of a conscript struggling to survive his compulsory time in the apartheid military. Tonight marks the Johannesburg premiere, and of course we can't wait to bring you guys all the action.
The film is very experiential. You definitely will not forget this movie quickly. I think I want people to realize that we all have a story in this country. We definitely do. And this is one point of view, and it's a very intense one. And I think the takeaway is, our past is super hectic.
For now in our country, we need even more stories like this because there's so much that we need to rectify in terms of how we treat each other as people in our country. And I think it's so critical that we engage ourselves with stories such as Moffie in order for us to understand that humanity still exists in every one of us and we need tolerance more than anything else.
On a lonely, dusty road.
Sugar Man.
A signature track is Rodriguez's Sugar Man, reworked by Ben Ludick.
It was such an opportunity. I mean, it's a dream to be able to take a song of that magnitude, something that's so well known, and be able to put your own flavor on it.
I think it's very important because it gives us a pathway to look at our future based on our past. I think a lot of people, especially the same age as the young men that are featuring in the film, had no idea what their fathers went through. So that's the story that we want to tell. You know, we want to show that apartheid was painful for everyone. At that stage in time as well, being gay was outlawed, was illegal. And there's a lot of pain attached to it. There's a lot of pain attached to the word, the name, the title of our film.
You know, I think it's a time that we write for this kind of story now. In South Africa, I feel enough time has passed, and I feel this is really important for us to see this, to learn from the past and not repeat what have been done.
Well, you know, this film is about a time in South Africa where a lot of people suffered insurmountably. And, you know, the best way to deal with suffering is to talk about it, you know. So this film is an opportunity to have a discussion and to talk about the things that were wrong and move on for them and have a discussion. And that's what Oliver, you know, really says about this film, that it's a question. And it's up to us to all answer the question and to talk about it.
I think we're still dealing with huge issues around the LGBT community in South Africa and the world and how they're persecuted. So for me, that's an important part of the story, but I also think it's important for us as South Africans to address all our trauma so that we can understand each other more fully. Let's come watch our film. We're a South African crew who's made a South African story for South Africans, and it's really important for us to bring it home.
I hope that it creates some empathy at the end of the day, to see others' struggles and to put yourselves in their shoes. And at the end of the day, also for people to think twice before they use a word such as Moffie so carelessly.
So I think people must walk away and it must provoke thought. And if there's something that was preconceived about either the war or gay people or whatever it might be, let's see if it can provoke thought into an area which is open and wider and non-biased.
So from seeing the trailer for Moffie, I think, you know, original African cinema and queer content is so important in storytelling right now. You know, specifically if you look at this set in the 80s, you can almost see this as a barometer for how far we've come, but almost more importantly, how far we perhaps still need to go. So it was incredibly moving, and I think this kind of content goes a very, very long way to creating visibility and really finding real equality in our Rainbow Nation.
This is an amazing movie for our previous generation as well as our current generation to really make sure that they watch, to see where we've come from and how far we have actually come and actually how far we still need to go, and creating a safe dialogue to speak about those uncomfortable taboo issues that we've had in the past going into the future.
Well, I've just heard such incredible feedback about this movie. I think anything on this level coming out of South Africa is just so thrilling to come and witness and be a part of. We're here to support the film tonight and all the incredible people who worked on it. We're proudly South African SA taking its talents to the world.
It's done terribly well all over the world. I mean, I think it's great for South Africa and for South Africans to have a home-based movie. It's in English and in Afrikaans with subtitles. So I'm really looking forward to the performances and see what happens to the word Moffie.
This was South Africa's own Vietnam within a greater battle. And the best way to understand it is through one man's true human story. Open at cinemas now.